Yo, welcome back to another Transfer Portal CFB podcast as we're presented by NoContextCFB. Today, we're honestly just straight up only talking about the upcoming draft that's literally in a few days. We're super excited for this. We can't wait to dive into it all week as we'll be streaming and hosting spaces probably and streaming during the draft too. We'll be doing that on Thursday and Friday, so look out for that. You'll have Andrew and myself as well as some other people talking about every pick, possibly eating some baked beans with raw sugar. That might be on the table. So Roger McCreary's super excited for it. But yeah, we're gonna try and do a bunch of stuff during the live stream and have some good content, hopefully. But for now, excited to talk some draft with Mr. Andrew Wilson. What's up, man? How are you doing?
It's draft week. Someone should make a sequel to Draft Day and just call it Draft Week. That movie would hit.
Draft week, or just how about just draft process? And it's just the entire year.
Or you know what? Just vlogs like a random GM's entire life.
Yeah, we'll do 365 days from leading up to the draft, from literally the second that this draft ends until the next draft. I think we're gonna have to contact Mr. Markey and then get this over to Disney or something. I think we've got something good on our hands.
We have the ideas. We just need the execution from the movie industry.
That's for sure. All right, so let's just get straight into this. We'll try and make this a rather quick episode because, again, we have a bunch of stuff coming this week for draft stuff. All right, let's get into it. What team is in the best spot to shock people?
I guess I'm just going to go first, Liam.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the division I have my eye on, I'm not even just going to say one team. I'm going to take an entire division. The NFC North, outside of Chicago. I mean, if Chicago moves up into the first round, I can talk about them, but no one cares about Chicago right now. That's a disgusting franchise that will not help their young quarterback develop and flourish. So let's talk about the rest of the NFC North. Speaking of disgusting franchises, let's start with Detroit, the second and the 32nd pick. I mean, the biggest surprise right now would be Malik Willis at 2. Not that it would be a bad pick, just after everybody saying, oh, this isn't a great draft class for quarterbacks for the last however many months, just for one to go at the second overall position would be a bit of a shock, even though I would like the pick. Outside of, Malik Willis ending up in Detroit, that would be kind of unfortunate for him. But you know what? Bigger contract, good for him to earn that. And then the 32nd pick. If they don't go quarterback at 2, they can easily go in at 32. Maybe Matt Corral falls. Maybe they love Sam Howell. Maybe they love Desmond Ridder. One of those quarterbacks is on the board. Liam is chuckling as I say Sam Howell.
I was waiting for you to say it. Yeah.
That's the pick I've been saying for the last few months. The Lions on Sam Howell just seems like a match made in heaven, as Dan Campbell is to Pike Place or Pike Roast Coffee from Starbucks. Is Sam Howell to chicken nuggets? So maybe they have like kneecap nuggets that they can feed him and get him on the right diet in Detroit. But yeah, Detroit needs a quarterback. Jared Goff is the definition of mediocrity. They need to get off him as soon as possible. Not this year, most likely, because they will be taking on a rookie, quite possibly. And then you look at the other positions outside of quarterback, because there are, occasionally some quarterbacks that aren't taken. So let's talk about edge rusher. Second overall, Trevon Walker, Kayvon Thibodeau, Aiden Hutchinson. Any of those could be the pick. Even Sauce Gardner at 2 has gotten a lot more steam. And then the 32nd position, you could be looking at a linebacker like a Quay Walker, like a Nakobe Dean from Georgia. I would probably assume Quay Walker at this point over Nakobe Dean, which is a little surprising, seeing that even last month you saw Nakobe Dean having a consistent first-round mock grade, and now it seems to be more going towards Quay Walker because he has the more ideal size and athleticism. But yeah, Detroit is definitely a team that could surprise with quarterback, especially. Minnesota could not go defensive back possibly if they don't love any of the defensive backs on the board, assuming Sauce, Hamilton, and Stingley are all off the board. Maybe they're not super high on Trent McDuffie from Washington. Maybe they're not super high on Andrew Booth, and maybe they take a wide receiver. One thing I would love to see is Justin Jefferson on the same offense as Jameson Williams. That would turn heads, and that would make Kirk Cousins a really freaking good quarterback if he had those two weapons to throw to. And he's also got Adam Thielen for this year, and he's got Dalvin Cook. That Minnesota offense, as long as they can, make sure that offensive line isn't bad. That would be a fun offense to watch with Kevin O'Connell being the new head coach. And then you've got Green Bay. Green Bay in the first round could possibly not take a wide receiver. It's not out of the question. Just because they have a need at wide receiver doesn't mean they're going to take one. If, say, they take an offensive guard and a slot / safety like a Jalen Petrie, social media would blow up and I would be all here for it. I'm a Packers fan. I've been watching them my entire life. I would love for that to happen because that would be the best night on social media in draft history.
Look, man, I was just shocked that you didn't lead with Sam Howell for that Lions 32nd pick and you dropped Crowell first. That shocked me. And two, not to like promote something else that we're doing, but the Pick Is In series, it blows my mind every single day that your Vikings pick wasn't Jameson Williams and you went Drake London. Like, it just, I'm baffled by it. You're so much higher on J-Mo.
Yeah, but at that time, I was also more open to the fact of Drake London being the first or second wide receiver off the board. I thought some people may still be spooked about the injury to Jameson. Now I'm more open to like, okay, Jamo could easily be WR2. He's easily in that stock range where he could be between picks 10 and 15. And Drake London could be that one wide receiver out of the top four to possibly fall the most out of those four.
No, that's a good point. For the team that I didn't go with the whole division. I only went with one team that's in the best spot to shock people. I will just go at 3 with Houston because I do think that this is a spot where they could shock people. As in, if they really like someone, I think they're just going to take them at 3. I mean, there is buzz surrounding Derek Stingley Jr. being the pick at 3. There's a bit of buzz there, and a lot of people are going to say, why not just trade down? Go try and find Houston a trade partner with this third pick. Who is going to move up to 3 to get, I don't know, maybe it's Kayvon that they're moving up for, or they're securing one of the offensive linemen. I don't know, or Sauce, but try and find a good trade partner for Houston and let me know what you find because I have not found that trade partner. I think that they'll be taking Kayvon Sauce or Stingley here. And if they take Stingley, it wouldn't really shock either of us. I think it more kind of just stun us that it really is happening. And it really got spoken into fruition, right? Or whatever his thing is. But this would shock 99.9% of the people watching the draft would be Stingley 3 to Houston. So that's why I went with.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it over the last few days, especially the steam is rolling with Houston to possibly shock people. And you know what? I know Liam is very high on taking Stingley this high. And I like Stingley taking this high too. If you truly believe in getting him back to his 2019 form and beyond, take him. He's a special player. He's a special athlete. He's a special talent. It's just making sure he stays healthy. That's the biggest thing with him.
Look,
Bruin agrees with me. Bruin is a very talented talent evaluator, especially for a dog.
All right, man. But what about a team that could, kind of surprise with trading up or trading down? I don't know how many teams you've got here, if you've got a whole division or conference, but what's a team or two that you could see making the move?
Yeah, well, I think the first team that we both know could move down is Washington. If Kyle Hamilton's not there at 11 and, probably Stingley's gone, Sauce is gone, Wilson's gone, they would be a very likely candidate to move down from that 11 spot, try and get Olave a little bit later. We talked to John Keim. We've heard this. Kyle Hamilton would be the best pick for Washington. If he's not there, it's a likely trade down spot. But I kind of want to go to Kansas City. Kansas City is a team that just got a first-round pick for Tyreek Hill. And, I mean, would we be super surprised if they moved it again?
No. When you're picking back-to-back there, it's pretty likely that you're going to move one of them. We see it so much no matter what round it is.
Yeah. And I think if we had to choose between the two picks to be moved, it would be 29. That makes a little bit more sense. I mean, not only does it force the team that if you're either trading up or down, like say if you're trading back and there's a new team at 29, they have to pay a little bit more on the contract. So it just makes it a little bit more, a little bit more of an incentive. So if they move back into the second round, That's where they could find a wide receiver. Maybe they love a safety. Maybe they love a defensive lineman or an offensive lineman. Kansas City could wait until the second round and get a guy like a George Pickens possibly. Maybe they love John Mechie from Alabama. Maybe they love Jalen Tolbert from South Alabama. Maybe they just love receivers from the state of Alabama. We don't know, but Kansas City could very easily move off of one of those spots. And then I'm going to talk about them again. Green Bay. Green Bay could move up from 22. If Chris Olave falls past, I'll say the first pick that I could realistically see him outside of Washington, which would be 15. He could go earlier, but 15 would be like the first really realistic spot for Olave. If he gets past there, what stops Green Bay from calling New Orleans and saying, hey, you have 2 picks. You suck as a franchise, so you're going to move with us. Green Bay and New Orleans have made trades before. Green Bay got a first-round pick from New Orleans a few years ago that gave New Orleans, I believe, Marcus Davenport. So Green Bay and New Orleans, they have this relationship. Green Bay's like, hey, what's up? We kind of want that 16th pick. All right, how much is it going to cost to move from 16 to 22? Third, maybe? Would you agree with that, Liam?
From 16 to 22,
maybe a third and like a sixth.
I think you'd be trading a 3 and a 5 and maybe getting back a 6.
Okay, yeah, so a late round pick swap and a third.
Yeah, I think that's fair for 6 picks.
And Green Bay definitely has the capital to get that done. I mean, I believe they have 11 picks right now, and they have, I can double check right now, but I believe they have 5 or 6 in the top 100. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the top 100. They have 92 in the third round. You put 92, you package it with maybe 140 or 171, and you get a 6-pack to move up to 16 to solidify a guy that is rumored to be Aaron Rodgers' draft crush. Get that done. That would be the easiest and most loved move the Green Bay Packers have made in the draft in quite some time.
Rodgers, are we trading 22?
It's good against in the front office. He knows he has no more leverage in this situation. He's like, Rodgers, we trading 22? We've made so many draft day references over the last few podcasts. It's actually insane. But it's a realistic move. Green Bay could love not Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers could love Chris Olave. You get that deal done if it costs you a third. Oh, boo-hoo. You already have 2 second-round picks and another first-round pick.
Mm-hmm. I would love to see Chris Olave in Green Bay. Like, how many jerseys get sold with that after a stellar?
I might buy 2.
buy 3. Yeah, throwback one.
I'm going to get a throwback to when we have the blue and the brown. That's a beautiful jersey. I'm going to get the normal away and the normal home.
Mm-hmm. So, look, I cooked up a few deals as well. I like the idea of the Giants moving down from 7 for a team that holds picks 5 and 7. I like securing the guy that they have at the top of their board at 5. I like moving 7 to a team that might need it more. It's been heavily thought that the Giants will be trading one of these picks. Go move down to 7. I think a good trade partner. Look, I've talked about it with you. I think a good trade partner here is Houston at 13. Again, a 6-pick difference here. It's pretty easy to do. I think those are 2 teams that should look to make a deal. The Giants would be in a pretty solid spot at 13, accumulate extra draft capital. That's great. Houston can move up to get their guy. I don't know who it is. Maybe they're going up to get Stingley there at 7, or maybe they're going up to get Garrett Wilson at 7. I don't know. Or maybe it's Kayvon that falls to 7 for no reason. They're able to get Sauce at 3 and Kayvon at 7. Like A+++ for this awful franchise if that were to happen. But I think those are 2 teams that can make a deal. And then I also think this one, I don't know how. I don't think I've talked about this one. I think 17 and 23 again. The 3 trades that we cooked up are all 6-pick differences. It's kind of the sweet spot. But I got the Los Angeles Chargers moving down from 17. The Arizona Cardinals moving up from 23. Cardinals move up to secure that top receiver on their board that's available, right? They're going to move up for a receiver here. The Chargers are going to move down. That's going to make it easier for them to take a interior defensive lineman at 23, accumulate extra draft capital. I think those are, or whatever position the Chargers want to address at 23. But I think those are 2 teams that would be good trading partners.
Yeah, I mean, especially looking at who Arizona would be jumping if they were to go wide receiver. You're jumping Green Bay. You're jumping New England. You're jumping Pittsburgh, who realistically right now, I mean, Deontay Johnson, Chase Claypool. Outside of that, it's what, James Washington? They could.
No, James Washington's in Dallas. It's Rico Bussey. It's not actually Rico. I do like Rico though. But.
Yeah, I forgot about that whole James Washington thing. Didn't Des Bryant predict that?
Yeah, Des got the script from Goodell.
And then you're jumping New Orleans at 19, they could go receiver. Philly at 18, they could go receiver. I mean, they're jumping a bunch of receiver needy teams, probably less so with Pittsburgh. But yeah, that would be a great spot. And Los Angeles would be getting better value at 23. That's my favorite word when it comes to the draft is value. Getting a defensive tackle at 17, not great value, especially if they're looking at a guy like Jordan Davis. At 23, I'm more open to it.
Mm-hmm. And it's all about who even falls there, because maybe they're taking the receiver at 23, or maybe they're more comfortable taking Penning there at 23 as opposed to 17. Devontae Wyatt they could get at 23 as opposed to I just think that move bodes well for them. And we'll wrap this up with one player that we see getting into the late first round. It happens all the time in the draft. There's players that go in the late first round, more so for their athletic traits and that the allure of their athleticism, talent, and all that stuff. So who's one guy that you think might sneak into the end of the first round that would surprise a lot of draft viewers?
Well, you talk about could sneak in. I have 3 players written down that are like sometimes mocked in the first. It's not like a common thing. Mm-hmm. So I'll just speed through these. I think Tyler Smith from Tulsa, the tackle class outside of the top, I'd say 4 is very hit or miss, depending on who do you think is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So Tyler Smith could be very high on one team's boards that needs a tackle and they like him. That could be a pick. I think Christian Watson, he's been more consistently mocked in first rounds, especially since the combine. But he could not just be a late first. He could go as high as like 22. If Green Bay took him at 22, I would be not shocked by any freaking means. He's athletic, large stature from a small school. That screams Green Bay Packer. And then the last one, kind of touched on him a little earlier, Quay Walker, the linebacker from Georgia. A little bit of a change ever since we've been kind of thinking it's going to be Devin Lloyd 1 and then Nakobe Dean 2, kind of switched. I think we're going to start seeing more people think it's going to be Quay Walker. I think that's already kind of happened. And a team that could do it is 32. Detroit, kind of already talked about it. Quay Walker could go 32. Quay Walker could possibly, I mean, I don't think Green Bay goes linebacker, especially in the first round, but Detroit at 32 is a really ideal spot for a linebacker, especially like Quay Walker right here.
I feel like there's been a lot of prospect fatigue with Nakobe Dean as well.
Yeah. Honestly, we're going to just spitball ideas right now on the podcast, you know what, whatever, but we could make a video about people who have gotten prospect fatigue. I think that because that's been a very prominent topic this year, especially because we had the no doubt number 1 player in the country midway through the season. Now some people think he falls out of the top 5 to 7.
You have it with Kayvon, with Hamilton, with
someone's sorry to cut you off, but I saw someone that I'm not going to lie, don't trust by any means. I saw someone on Twitter say that Kyle Hamilton could fall out of the top 15. I laughed.
Yeah, that's just
there's no way that happens.
Just not happening.
I won't say who it is because it's just shock value, but
no, but there definitely are a decent amount. There's a decent amount of prospect fatigue players. I think. Yeah. Look, neither of us have ever liked them, but Bernard Ryman is definitely in there with the prospect fatigue. I know some outlets were saying that this guy's is going to rise up and be a top 10 pick. Now he's consistent mid-second round. I don't know what that was ever all about, but
you could even say Falele. Because the big thing people are worried about is his movement. That's not his worry. He is 6'8", 387, and he's actually really athletic for that size. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a gopher. He's actually really freaking athletic for a guy his size. You watched him at his pro day. I mean, he jumped. Wow. You also got to remember, this dude is almost 400 pounds. People think 400 pounds, yeah, that's a big tackle. No, 400 pounds is pretty freaking big.
I think another guy too. I feel like Isaiah Likely has suffered a lot of
Oh,
prospect
oh,
fatigue.
he has. Isaiah Likely was probably at the Senior Bowl consistent tight end two. And
Mhm.
then Greg Dulcich appeared. More people are getting higher on Jeremy Rucker. A lot of people like Kate Otten. Probably the biggest riser of the tight end class has been Jelani Woods from Virginia. His 6'7" frame with that massive amount of athleticism. Probably going to see him being one of the first two or three tight ends off the board at this point. He might be
Mhm.
first.
The um the prospect I went with to rise into that first round again, all about the traits, the athleticism. I like the fit too. I love the idea of the Cincinnati Bengals taking Tariq Woolen at 31. I don't know if they will do it. I might do it in my mock just to be that guy who calls it. But I really like that fit. They've been meeting with him a good bit. They're really high on him supposedly. They are going to address this cornerback room. If that's a given, right? So maybe they're unable to make a move back and they end up taking Woolen at 31. I feel like that's a pick that would have a lot of people in shock and awe as well. So that's what I went with.
Yeah, that's definitely a possibility. Woolen is such an athletic corner, especially at his size. Was he the tallest person this year to run a 40 like under 4.3? It was
It
just like
had to
two
be.
people.
It
Because
had to be.
the only other person that ran super fast that was a super tall was Jelani.
And
Or
Woolen's 6 foot
are we
four,
considering Amari
so
Barno super tall?
I don't know.
He's like what 6'3" ish.
I mean, Woolen's 6 foot 4, and he's golly, his
Barno
legs are
6'4".
crazy long.
Yeah.
I think Woolen's going to rise up. I think Woolen will be a top 45 pick.
Yeah, I mean, especially looking at this year's corner class, outside of the top, I'd say five, which is probably consistent top five with Sauce, Stingley, Booth, Elam, and McDuffie. You've got McCreary. He could go. I think he's also kind of a guy that's gotten a little bit of fatigue if you think
Mm-hmm.
about it, because he had a lot of first round mocks and now you don't see him at all. He's probably more mid second right now. You know what? Maybe he was the baked beans and sugar. I,
Probably was that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how you fit that into a consistent diet plan with a team, but you know what? Maybe there's some magic baked bean that's like the best thing for you, but it just tastes so rancid you have to put sugar on it. Maybe that's
We'll
it.
find
Maybe,
out soon enough.
hey, we will.
I will.
But then you've got like Kyler Gordon from Washington. He could go high. Tariq Woolen. And then you probably get into the more third round, maybe super late second, like a Martin Emerson or a Kobe Bryant.
Mm-hmm. I gotta be honest too. Well, we were talking about the teams, the best shot people. I forgot to list one of mine.
Oh, that's kind of
Yeah, maybe we could blame that on Bruin though.
no, can't blame Bruin. That's on you.
Yeah, that's
But
on
go
me.
ahead. I will
Okay,
allow it.
all right, all right. The Panthers at 6. Who knows what on earth they
Oh
are
yeah.
going to do at 6? I think this one is pretty much a layup to predict that it's going to be a mess.
Yeah.
Are they taking quarterback at 6?
No.
Okay, well, what if Malik Willis is there and they straight up took Kenny Pickett over?
Okay. You know what? I'm going off on a tangent. I'm sorry. But why do people think Kenny Pickett is better than Malik Willis?
I don't know.
Like it doesn't make sense. I don't understand why people can mock Kenny Pickett 6 and the Malik Willis 20.
Yeah, it makes no sense to me. They have
Like
no understanding of upside or the value of the two quarterbacks and their differentials.
like I'm all for people having different opinions than me. I encourage it because a lot of my opinions are very different. But Kenny Pickett, and I'm probably one of the only people that can say this. I loved Kenny Pickett going into the season, so I can say this. Kenny Pickett's not a great NFL prospect. Like he doesn't make your ceiling as a team higher. He is. I mean, he could be like Kirk Cousins, and Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback, but he doesn't change your franchise's outlook.
I just think pick is average. Like I don't see anything to really hate on, and I don't really see anything to really gush over. Like I just think he's Jack. He's a Jack. He's just a guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's athletic. He's accurate. He's got an arm. What wows me? Like he is the definition.
He invented an NCAA rule.
You know what? Are they calling that the picket rule? They have to. I mean, no one else ever has done a fake slide, especially at that high magnitude game with the ACC championship.
It really was nuts. But look, we should wrap this up before we get way too off track.
No, I like going on tangents. This is fun.
No, we could go way too off track, and we have a bunch of stuff that we're doing all week with draft coverage, streams, spaces, more streams, videos, articles,
more streams.
Content, yeah, all that stuff. Be prepared for it.
And it all leads up to the draft stream special on Thursday night. And we're also doing one on Friday because we love day 2 as well.
Live from our own remote studios.
Oh, what do you mean? Actually, you know what? Liam Blutman is going to be live from Las Vegas, Nevada.
I flew down to Vegas just for the event.
Yep. He is going to be live from Vegas. I will be at my home studio, and we will have Matt Townsend as well. So this is going to be a lot of fun. I have a lot of stuff planned, and it's going to be the best draft stream. Trust me on that one.
I mean, we could kind of say that.
We can say it, but we also know who else streams, and it's like, it's kind of unfair.
If you want a draft streaming experience to watch where you're actually able to interact with the hosts and feel more a part of the stream, then come watch us, because we'll be talking to people all throughout the stream. We might bring people on into our call to talk with us. I think that could be fun. Would love to have people come into the call when their team is on the board and making a pick. Like that'd be fun. But
it would be very funny to see a Jets fan break down after they draft Caleb Ellaby at 10.
I think that would only make them happier, honestly.
Wow, really just Zach Wilson disrespect right there.
No, the Caleb Ellaby experience is what it is.
So you just want to be the new quarterback factory?
Yeah, but no, I want the cornerback factory in Houston. That's why I want it. But again,
Liam wants Sauce at 3 and Stingley at 7.
Yeah, I do. I really do. And you can hear more about that all week. Please make sure to like this video. Do the other stuff on the other podcast platforms like Spotify and Apple. I'm not sure what you do there. Follow it or whatever. Give it a thumbs up. I don't know. Subscribe to our YouTube though. That's super important. Yeah, thumbs up. Just subscribe to our YouTube. 2023 draft content soon too. I know, crazy. Yep. Literally RA focused. RA have video recorded for 2023, so we're working on that. Thank y'all. Goodbye.